What's good, guys? Your mom 565 back with another YouTube video. I wanted to make this video uh all the way about market exhaustion, because I thought that uh that would be a good topic, because I noticed this when I was trading. Uh and it's funny that I talk about it, but when trading, it's usually a little hard because you're super excited to get in trades and stuff like that, and it's it's hard to kind of play by the rules when you're trading. I wouldn't say it is kind of hard, but like it can be, because like you could be excited, you could be you know uh in a rush, you could be uncomfortable, all these things. Um, but the most important part is like feel like it's as the market moves, the price changes. And I think what people don't realize is, especially what I didn't realize when live trading, is when you kind of, trade and you put money in the market and price begins to move, the situation moves, the outcome of the trade changes. Like, it changes like that. Like, even though you're in a trade, it doesn't mean that that trade can't turn around. Like, it doesn't mean that that trade can't, go against you. It doesn't mean that that trade can't hit your SL. um, so that's why I say, always try to trade a clear setup. You can't force a setup. If you've hit the SL like 2, 3 times, maybe wait another day. Maybe back out, go to the higher time frame, and see, uh, you know, what the actual situation is. Another thing is like when you're trading, too, right? To keep in mind is market exhaustion. That's a great thing to keep in mind, because one trader, may think, hey, if it goes up, it'll come back down. So I can trade the buy, I can trade the sell, things like that. That's all fine and dandy. But like I said, when price moves, you have a different pattern on the chart. So, like I said, if you have a different pattern on the chart, you have a different situation, you have a different, um, forecast or uh, reaction, so to speak, that you take when the market kind of sets up like that. You know, a setup is a setup, a setup is multiple setups, a setup is multiple perspectives of what one trader may think that will happen next, or how they have trained themselves to react to a market that is fluctuating. So yeah, like I said, I want to make this video short, simple, but I was, mainly for myself, mainly for new traders too, market exhaustion, because like I said, once you put that initial percentage of risk into the market, and the market moves, and let's just say you go for let's say $2 to $7. We all know that $7 is exhausted. Once you get up to $7 and we start consolidating at the top, there are chances of a range break and a retest. There are possible situations where you could have a range break, an actual breakout, a retest. A retest goes past your SL. You think that SL is, and then the trade is done. Sometimes it's just not that situation. Sometimes it's just the fact that the market is exhausted, and that first push up was the initial IPO. That was where people were most interested in grabbing price. So at the top, they're not really worried about market structure, these and that. They're gonna hit liquidity grab, things like that, SO grab. And altogether, like I said, the situation just changes. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you could look at it, a whole bunch of different ways that you could say what you think will happen. But I think, like I said, as long as you understand that, like, the situation changes while you have a trade, and like I said, how you react has multiple different perspectives because the situation changes. Just keep that in mind, market exhaustion, you get in, you don't just get like right back in because the market's gonna do some funky stuff. After a whole bunch of people have just bought in, and they're processing out orders, stuff like that, people are selling off, like it's gonna do some funky stuff because people ain't caring. The price ain't really gonna be monitored because people ain't like in a rush to send in documents, things like that. You gotta think about it. IPO, people are gonna have those things, on track. Like they're gonna be on time with the IPO, but you're not gonna really be on time with reporting a sell off because they're gonna think, hey, it's in the market, things like that. You so market exhaustion, things like that, man. You gotta think about it. People trading, on the initial IPO on the way to the top. That's exhausting. That's a very stressful moment, and that takes a lot of effort. So yeah, man, just keep that in mind, man. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below with any questions. I'll be sure to try to get back to you with more knowledge that I have at this time. And if I don't, try to lead you in the right direction with somebody that helped me. So, you want to fix 65? Peace. See you guys in the next video.